What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Beyond the Schmoedown. I'm Star Wars competitor Andrew Dimalanta.
And I am Nicki Dimalanta.
And we have a special guest with us today. Very first
special
guest on the show. Welcome to the show, Ben Goddard. He got drafted to the den. Ben Goddard, say hello, everybody.
Hold on, I'm almost done popping and locking. Almost.
Yeah, the theme music, man, it's so good.
I forgot because I haven't listened to this week's episode yet, so I forgot how lit your guys' intro music is, man.
Oh, yeah.
Like Andrew and Nicki for some backstage on this. It's just like, all right, guys, we're gonna start in 5, 4, 3, and then I'm just imagining Little John like, yeah, fucking let's go. Oh my gosh.
Man. So
that's the only time I'll cuss. I apologize for
Oh
cussing.
no, man.
Oh,
Cussing. This is a cussing
I don't think
welcome
kids are gonna
zone.
listen to
Yeah,
this.
Whatever.
Oh, okay.
I don't have any JTEs to lose.
Yeah, the Schmoedown itself is probably non-cussing, but go ahead and swear it up on this show, man. It's my show.
All right.
We're adults. I can do whatever I want.
Bunch of 30-year-olds talking over the internet. We're all good.
We're adults. We're talking movie trivia. You guys have children? Absolutely.
We're adults.
I'm a
No,
big
what happened in
kid.
Star
I'm
Wars?
a big kid.
Yeah, so we met officially in person. I mean, we've been talking on the internet for a while, but we officially met in the draft last weekend, 2 weeks ago. Last weekend.
Well,
No,
I mean, yeah.
We talked in Orlando.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Jeez.
No, we met.
Wow.
We met in
Actually.
person.
I gotta go. I gotta go, guys.
So
Jeez.
Actually, we
Ugh.
met before
we met
then.
before that in LA for my taping of my second match against Laura Kelly, and
Yes.
fun little
You're
backstage.
lucky you got her. You're lucky you have your wife, Andrew. She just saved you.
Yeah.
Fun little backstage note. We were always wondering how oh man, how do they keep track of how many seconds
Yeah,
they
when
have
they're
left?
just talking to each other and bullshitting.
And they were
during the
like, we
match.
see this guy off to the side, oh, they got a
I'm
they
like,
got
oh,
a
they got a
countdown
counter
there.
boy over there. Look at him
Yeah,
go.
exactly. Dude, you have okay. Before I even got a mic, because Christian would come on and he'll do his little voice notes before, and I didn't realize that stayed on the stream, when the video, uploaded after the live stream, and people were just yelling at me in the comments this is wrong. You guys said you guys started talking about Star Wars at 43 minutes. It is obviously 43:44, you dumb asshole.
Where are the time codes, Ben?
Jesus Christmas, Ben.
No, I'm telling these people and their timestamps, there must have been something in their past life where timestamps
Meant
touched
something.
them or something.
Touch them
because-
inappropriately.
And also, because I'll wait, because it takes a minute for the video to load, and for you to even leave a comment on a YouTube stream,
Yeah,
it takes
a while.
10 minutes or so, especially on a 2-hour video. So I'll refresh and I'll wait, or Christian lives half an hour away from me, so I'll drive home. I'll get home and there's already 10 comments where are the timestamps? Why are they all?
Yeah, because
Ben.
I've made that mistake before too. Because sometimes I want to clip out or start the video and share the video, obviously just so people watch it, but start the share at a certain time code. But I've tried to do that right after the show stops, and it's oh no, then Nikki's your time code is wrong. You're your timestamp is wrong. I'm oh shit.
Yeah, it's some
so
random
I
part
have
of
to
the
wait
show.
a fucking hour after the show airs.
So now I know it's just a bunch of Nikki's burner accounts on YouTube that are just shaming me.
Oh shit! Foiled again.
All right, so tangents. Let's bring it back to the Schmoedown. So, since you are our first official guest, something we wanted to ask people when they're their first time on the show is just their how they got into the Schmoedown. In your case, how you got involved with the Schmoedown to begin with, because that obviously led to you showing up on SEN and being a very popular personality on that show.
Hell yeah.
So how did you get involved with Christian and the Schmoedown to begin with?
All right, so where I bartend is somewhat close to where the Hyper RPG. You guys know Hyper RPG? That stream and stuff?
Yeah, Halavic and Navarro.
Yeah. So Halavic and Hector Navarro would come in. Cameron Rice and Emma Fife would come in.
Nice.
And luckily it was Wednesday, and we used to have all day happy hour Wednesday, which was so ridiculous because our happy hour was way too good. So, obviously I knew who they were for a while, and after a while, they became regulars, and we got to talking, and then And this is kind of like life advice for people. Like, don't be afraid to like shoot your shot. Like, you know, do it respectfully and don't, you know, it depends on what you're shooting for. But I was like, Emma and Cameron, like, first I asked, I was like, how'd you guys get into what you do? Because it's what I want to do. Because I've had my YouTube channel for a long time with very little growth. Like,
I'm right there with you, man.
Like, yeah, and like, you know, paying for movie reviews, I pay out of pocket. Like, thank God for Movie Pass and AMC A-List, because the first 2 years, like any movie I wanted to review, that was straight cash, homie. So I talked to Emma and Cameron, and then one day I was just like, you know, I talked to them about it, but I didn't ask them. So finally I followed Emma, but she doesn't follow me, so, you know, I can't DM her. So I just said, Emma, can you DM me? And she did. And she's like, oh, what's up, Ben? I was like, hey, if you guys ever need any help at the Schmoedown, like wherever you guys film, let me know. Like, I'm willing to start at the bottom. Like, I know I'm not looking for money or anything, like, but I just want to help out and try and get my foot in the door some way. And she was awesome. She let me know. She was like, yeah, we're filming this Saturday if you want to come by and help out.
Nice.
Like, and the, you know, the Schmoedown Patreon, they have that tier where like you get a bunch of mailers and stuff like that. So that's what I did that day. Watched a few matches, helped set up and tear down the set and stuff like that with Alex Marzonia, and Christian Ruvalcaba was there. And, you know, and especially there, because like you guys have been to the studio and like how large it is.
Yeah.
So it's like, I don't want to, you know, just follow Emma around, but, you know, everybody breaks off into their little cliques in between matches. And also, no one really asks, which is kind of weird. No one really asks who you are. Like,
Yes.
like, it's so strange. Like, I feel like that's such a security risk, because
It really is.
I'm just some fucking dude like walking around in there. And luckily, like, I went straight to Emma. Like, when I walked in, I was like, hey, Emma, here's your coffee. Thank you for inviting me to help today. And just like announced it really loud. So
I am no threat.
Like, yeah. But yeah, and then I helped. We shot a lot that summer. Like, I feel like we had maybe 2 weekends off, not including live shows.
That's awesome.
Wow.
And so yeah, we got so far ahead. So I was just there every Saturday, and I got to know Megan Sanborn, who's the best person ever.
Yeah, the coordinator.
And then just, you know, slowly every Saturday, like, just got to talking with Mark, and that's the thing, is that especially living in LA, these people should not exist for how, like, these guys are pretty famous, like, they're pretty well known, but they're like the most nice and loving and accepting people that you'll ever meet. And it's on, like, I didn't believe it for a second. I was just like, wait, what's going on?
What's the catch here?
I should have been kicked out months ago. What's going on?
Am I going to end up in someone's basement with my kidney missing or something? Because y'all are just too damn nice.
A bathtub full of ice over here.
I was half expecting it, and by this time I'd sell it to get into this business, honestly. But yeah, just kind of did that, and then I didn't even know Christian was leaving Collider until, you know, kind of everybody else did. And so, like, that was real shocking. And he emailed me. He was like, hey, man, I'm starting my own network. Did you want to, like, help out and, like, be a part of this? And I was like, yeah, let's do it. And so I realized, like, how lucky I am. Like, I know that I put in the work and everything, but I'm very lucky of how, like, the fact that Emma and them came into my bar, like, that's kind of where my story started. And
pretty fateful.
So it's just like, it has a lot to do with networking. Like, networking is so important in this business, but also, like, don't be afraid to, like, show out for yourself. Like, people are always like, oh, you know, good things will happen. It's like, no, you got to go make them happen.
It happen. Yeah.
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 Like,
So you obviously made it work, because now you got drafted to a pretty good looking team.
Hell yeah.
Dude, we are undercover good. And I was telling people that, like, and people were even asking me, like, oh, did you want to get drafted by Roxy or, you know, Tom, or, you know, some proven manager?
Yeah.
And I was like, no, like, I knew that, you know, Coy and Winston and Kate, like, they were taking this very, very seriously. Like, I was sad that Emma dropped out, but, you know, just because, like, Emma, like I said, she kind of got me started in this whole thing, so I would have loved to play for her. And with her work with the Shire Wolves, like, she also has a proven track record. But Kate is ready for this, and I like Grace as, like, basically like our mouthpiece, like, who can talk all the shit.
Oh my gosh.
So
yeah.
And so yeah, like Tom, like I'm not even about myself for this team. Tom and Paul Preston, besides obviously the founding fathers who have the belts, Tom and Paul Preston are the best team on
Oh,
paper.
they are gonna be
Yeah.
fucking
Yeah,
dangerous.
so let's go ahead and let's not get too deep into that, right? Because I really want to talk about first is the awards, because the awards and the draft were in the same night, and that was such a fun night. I mean, like
It was.
the awards was like it was like the awards were fun to have, but like the night was really about the draft, and like everyone was on pins and needles that night. There was so many like great moments during the draft, but let's go over like just the awards, and we're not gonna go through every one, mostly because we don't have the notes in
Yeah,
front
there
of
was
us.
like 800 notes or 800 awards, and we don't have them all
So
in front
like,
of us.
what stood out to you in the awards? Because obviously the Shazam just took everything.
Oh yeah, the kid.
Shazam cleaned up, and honestly, they should. I didn't know Ben Bateman was considered a face.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, me too.
Everybody around me kind of looked at each other like, "Wait, Ben's a face?" Like,
yeah,
just like Ben's a nice guy in real life. Like,
Oh, yeah.
so is
yeah.
Andrew Guy, like the biggest heel of all time. Is like the nicest person. And literally, that was like my first time meeting him. He came to shoot something, and then he was hanging out, and like we got to chatting, and I was like, "Yeah, I like to hang out a little bit after the match, just so everybody knows I'm not a huge asshole." I was like, "Yeah, that's good." But who else? Roka's speech really got me about Karen.
Oh, yeah.
Karen
Yeah,
and Paul.
for his entrance of the year, which I have my own thoughts about that, but I'm not gonna.
Well, I
go
mean,
off about
even
that.
even opinions aside, people were debating because he won singles entrance of the year
Yeah, and it
when
was
it
for
was
a
a teams
team
match.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
something.
and I have my own opinions about like whether it should have been nominated for one, because like I don't think like fans realize just how much work goes into these entrances, especially for people like me and Bibiani, because just to pull back the curtain, like straight work, that was like maybe like I think 3 weeks of work. Just like if I combined everything, it was 3 weeks of work. But I worked on that entrance for like on and off for like 2 months just to get it to where I wanted it to. And even after looking at it, I'm like, I really wish I had done something different with that. But like, I just don't think people realize like how much thought goes into these entrances. And like, it is kind of like I turned to Nicki like a couple days after we got back from LA, and I'm like, God, this is kind of like discouraging me from like even like, why am I going to put all this work in to a great entrance when it's not going to get like the buzz that I want? So, and it's just something that I'm thinking about like asking Bibiani, because he's been up for entrance of the year so many times and just come up short. So it's like I want to like ask him that.
And that's the thing. It's like, like relating it to like sports, like what's better, a cleverly drawn up play or someone just, like, or Jordan's flu game, like what's better, like the Statue of Liberty from that Boise State game, like, this perfectly crafted play that came together so well, or Jordan's flu game where he dropped 30 points and had 105-degree fever. Like it's crazy. It's such different things, but I totally get your point, because your X-Wing entrance was amazing. And I was like, how the fuck did he do that? Like, I'm such a boomer when it comes to computers and technology. I'm just like,
Boomer.
Where's kid pics when you need it? You can't draw this in Word.
Yeah, just looking at like the past two winners of singles entrance of the year, it's like it really comes down to like, what do the fans prefer? Do they prefer like the WWE feel to it, or because like I'm always looking at like, this is a movie, this is a trivia show and just a show celebrating movies. So like, and I bet a lot of people like that are participating in this stuff at some point or another wanted to make movies, and that's something that I've always been passionate about. And being a part of the Schmoedown and having this part, just putting this much effort into an entrance is just a way. And I think Bibiana said it at the awards. It's just a way to show that side of us that we don't very often get to show off and get that many eyes on. Because again, that YouTube grind. I've been at this YouTube grind for like 3 years and not gotten the attention that I would have liked to, until we got into this, and now it's getting more attention. So it's just things like that I wish and hope fans would sort of gear towards more. It's like, these are movie lovers, not only just movie or film fans. A lot of us want to be filmmakers. So that's just something that I really want to like just convey to the fans. It's like, hey, remember like the work that goes behind the stuff is just it's insane sometimes.
And that's the thing, is that a lot of it, like, and I'm not disparaging Roka or anything, because I'm sure he'll listen and like talk about how he was 4th or something like that.
Yeah.
But just like it was a lot of it is just popularity as well. Like Roka is like a very well-known and passionate player, and especially like that person doing that entrance is like just it's such a perfect thing. Like if Bibiani had been sick and come in like that, it might have not had the same impact as the Outlaw making that entrance. So it was literally like the right player, the right manning up to do to that entrance. So I get both sides of the argument, but the awards were so great. Yeah, like just seeing everybody get what they deserve, and just like all the different entrances and everything. It was awesome.
And that's the thing. I don't think there was really any surprises for the awards. Really. Like everybody that we thought was going to get what award ended up getting them. I can't really think anything off the top of my head. Like, oh, I'm surprised this person got this award. I think everybody deserving of what award they were nominated for ended up getting it. So
for sure,
yes. But obviously, we've rambled on enough. We've gone on a big tangent. We spent a little too much time on the awards that I would like to. So let's go ahead and just jump into the draft.
Sure.
Because like the draft was so insane. If you were in that room that night, it was
the energy
was so good. It was like
I wasn't ready for it. Like because the first round there was like some surprises. Like Robert Meyer Burnett doing Ethan Irwin was kind of a surprise. Kaiser picking Robert Parker was kind of a surprise.
Yeah, in the second round,
Yeah, but like the second, but after that, like you legitimately had no idea who was gonna go where, and it was so fun.
Yeah, you pretty much knew where everybody was gonna go for the first round because it's like it would be foolish not to pick up teams, especially protected teams in the first round, because you get more bang for your buck for that. So let's go ahead and go over like team by team and just like see what our thoughts on, because to go round by round would take forever, and we want to cap it off at a certain time. So
and I don't know about you guys, but like sitting in that room while they were like, all right, it's this round, that round, whatever, I was so fucking confused. Like, what round are we in? Where are we?
Everyone was confused. Like I feel like Christian was the only one that had a grip on everything.
Thank God for Frankie and Brad for like keeping track of everything, because if they weren't there, then it's like, what round are we in again? Who's
like everyone was like, oh, he traded this pick to this pick.
That was
I got this
so
pick.
confusing.
I was like, okay.
I don't know how they kept track of that. Oh my God. So I have those little graphics that were made on the Twitzers, and I want to say his name was Jacob that made them, and he did a fantastic.
JP, right?
Yeah. He did a fantastic job.
Right, so let's go ahead. So first team that you want to go over.
So the first one that I have is the Burning Droogs. He's got a very interesting layout of players. Yeah. His Ethan Irwin pick in the first round got James White. Do I know who that is?
He's a fan leaguer. He was sitting behind us in the Orioles. Was it an Orioles hat?
Yeah, the Orioles hat. Yeah. I believe.
So he's a rookie.
I just know he had a
he's a rookie.
suit and a baseball hat on.
Yeah.
That guy.
Yeah, he was sitting behind us. He's a fan leaguer.
Yes, I know exactly who you're talking about now. That's interesting to pick up a rookie in your second round pick.
Yeah, this pick is either a genius move or a colossal failure, depending on how this guy is. Because I don't watch many of the fan leagues at all. So I'm like, people that coming out of fan leagues, the only one that I've heard about is Robert Parker.
Yeah.
Just because Christian was just like raving about him.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and I did not expect Robert Parker. We talked, we had that clip out. Just like I did not expect Robert Parker to look like he did.
Yeah.
But he knows magic, and the fact that like I like Robert the Spider Parker, like that's a clever name.
Yeah.
But how is he not the Magic Man? Like, come on. Like,
that'd have been cute.
But I'm excited to see his entrances because I'm sure it's going to be.
Yeah.
I just got the whole. Is the spider like Peter Parker?
Peter Parker, yeah. Keeping it inner geekdom flavor.
Oh.
Yeah, that's
I get it. I mean, it would work better if it,
So what's the rest?
Andrew, edit in a little light bulb sound effect.
My funky.
Oh God.
There it is.
We messed it up.
But yeah, Ethan Irwin, James White, Alonso Duralde, Seibold, Video Drew, Warfather, and then I don't know, feel kind of like an asshole because I don't know the names Justin Kroll, Jenna Bush, and Josh Cavedo.
I don't either.
Yeah.
I feel like Jenna Bush sounds familiar, but I don't know.
There was somebody on his team that was supposed to end up on because of that whole mix up with
yes.
Who was it?
I actually don't.
Sam.
Yeah,
Yes,
well, it
usual
was
suspects.
the player. The player was supposed to go to Sam, but
I
ended
want
up
to say it was Jenna Bush.
I think it was
I
Jenna
think it was
Bush.
Jenna. I
Yeah.
think Sam Levine has Jenna Bush
Yeah,
because
'cause-
that was like one of the Twitter drafts, like or
Yeah.
Yeah,
texting or
he was
something like
he
that,
said he
so-
was opting out of the last 2 rounds when it was really opting out of only the last round, and he was supposed to get Jenna Bush, but that whole mix up. But they Harloff tweeted about it, and so I think Sam has not all but one spot filled up. And the same with
sure.
Bergers. Did anything stand out about this team? Because the only thing that really he's got a really interesting roster of knowns and unknowns. So
I like Ethan as
course.
your A player.
Yeah.
I like that a lot because what was it? Someone told me that Ethan played Bibiani's infamous free for all game.
yeah,
Someone told me Ethan played along at home, and he would have knocked out Bibbs 4 times.
oh shit!
Oh my.
So
Wow,
I mean,
gotta get Ethan
again,
in a free for all, man.
not on
Well,
the
has he-
stage, but Ethan's been under those bright lights. He played Dan in New York,
Yeah.
one of the best
Has
matches
Ethan played?
of all time.
Ethan's played in the free for all already, right? It was the year before.
I think so.
Yeah,
But yeah, he wasn't there for. But yeah, I can't remember who told me that. But
Damn.
but yes,
crazy.
It was. So that's a very. I feel like Schmoedown can be very out of sight, out of mind.
yeah.
And I feel like people, there's a lot of recency bias, but
Yes.
Ethan is a really, really good player. And the run he made to get the belt,
Yeah.
he was annihilating people.
Yeah, and
Like,
from what
he
I
left
yeah
no prisoners.
yeah from what I hear, it's just just a straight up knowledge with him. It's no studying, just oh yeah, I know that.
Yeah,
and,
he just knows stuff.
yeah, and
that's it.
And he just obviously he doesn't have the time to dedicate as much study time as other players do. But if he really sat down, he can just annihilate everybody and just not even make it close or
I
anybody.
think Drew's a good late round pick.
Mhm.
Again, I don't know much about the fan leagues, but I mean, he's got to have some kind of insight to draft James. And I mean,
Yeah.
if there can be a Robert Parker for Inner Geekdom, there can be a James White for regular
yeah.
play. Like there's I wouldn't be surprised.
Who do you think is his team
So-
coming out of this team? Or out of his
I'll just go 1 and 2. I'll put Ethan and James together because
Absolutely.
Ethan does know the game and can anchor that team well, and can, for lack of a better word, carry them in case James does have a bad game.
Yeah, and we'll wait and see because I've said it before, you can make a pretty good, decent, a good run at a title with a really great player and maybe somebody not that doesn't really hold up to the other team player as well. Because that was my problem with the Looney Bin, because obviously Video Drew has stepped up her game since, but Tom was really carrying that team. But if they really wanted to make a shot at it, Drew needed to step up her game, and she's obviously done that.
if you're looking to get a belt.
If you're looking to get a belt, you need to have two A-listers on your team.
Yeah.
So we'll see how this team shakes out. But
I think it's high risk, high reward
Yeah.
for the Drews.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
yeah. So next team.
So the next one I got in my little gallery here is the Dungeon. So number 1 pick,
See,
Mr. Smith.
this is the most interesting team to me.
Yeah. Tell me more.
I want to see what Kaiser can do with them
This-
because they've got Smets and Parker,
Yes.
and I know their plan is Smets is going to defend against Mara. We'll
Mhm.
see when that match ends up happening when Mara gets healthy.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, he wants Parker basically. If Smets beats Mara, then he's set for another month or two, and then we're gonna have Parker probably try and run through to get to Smets.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
he
yeah.
wants a dungeon on dungeon second belt defense for Smets.
Yeah.
Oh, and that would be just pure
so
points.
go
for
ahead and
his
run
team.
down that team, just so we know who's on it.
Smets, Robert Parker, Zipper, Adam Witt, and after Adam Witt, again, feel like a dick. I don't know any of these names, but Owen Mugen, Vinny Mancuso, Brittany Young, Rick Hong, Daniel Villalobos, and Claudia Dolph.
He has the riskiest team, I think.
Probably even more than Droogs.
Yeah, more than he has the most risk, and the most to lose out of this of any of the factions, because it's half his roster are rookies, right? Or just
It
people
seems
we've
like it.
never heard of.
I could have sworn I heard someone. I need to have a better memory.
Yes.
But I know people were talking about Vinny and how I feel like Vinny's played before. Maybe I'm wrong on that, but I could have sworn that someone, or maybe he's just one of those people that people know that he knows movies.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe.
So maybe he hasn't played, but people like it's one of those people that have just been around the scene and just know movies.
Yeah.
So that's the thing is that you have Zipper, who was a solid B player to Oyama, but what's that team? Is Zipper your number one player for singles? Is Zipper?
That's a great question.
Like, who's Zipper gonna be teamed up with?
He's gonna be teamed up with what's his
Adam
name?
Witt.
Adam Witt. And I've heard that Witt has
Adam Witt, okay.
I think people have said Adam Witt has underperformed in his last couple matches, and it's not like indicative of his play. And because it's really easy to say that Paul Preston carried that team, but I think I can't remember who said it, but somebody said like, yeah, no, we haven't seen what Witt can actually do. So we'll see. And Zipper's gotten a lot better underneath Kaiser.
Oh, noticeably,
Like,
significantly.
Noticeably better since he joined the dungeon. So I wouldn't sleep on Zipper or that
I'm not
team.
sleeping on Zipper. I call him a B player because Paul is obviously one of the greats in the game.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
Like I feel like people get offended when like Scottie Pippen was a B player to Jordan. Like it's not insulting Scottie Pippen. It's just Michael Jordan.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but again, I think this roster that Kaiser had, again, it's either a genius move to take all these rookies, or like he just shit the bed, just he didn't do his research, but like
Or he just bet too much.
yeah, he just bet too much on rookies because he in his rookie season as a manager, he took 2 rookies to titles. So I think he's banking a lot of that on what he did with Paul and Smets. So,
but also I feel like he dropped the ball with Paul. Like Smets was gonna come back and win that belt because Kaiser was in his ear the whole time.
Oh yeah,
and you could see that at Spectacular, but you could also see in New York, Paul almost lost to Snyder, and thank God, Harry Potter was his spinner's choice. And then in Spectacular, like everyone saw what happened there, so it's just like, did Kaiser forget to coach both players?
Yeah,
Paul is one of the scariest people in the Schmoedown, and for him to play that badly under those lights, I could not believe it. Even when he spun classics, I was like, this is perfect. Ben doesn't know classics. He will get this. And somehow he didn't. But that's the thing. Ben didn't know them either.
Yeah, that was the ugly second round for both of them.
It was hard to watch.
Yeah, but I think what Kaiser's doing, he's betting a lot on Inner Geekdom, because I think, what was it, 2 episodes ago, we talked about like drafting 2 players in this Inner Geekdom doesn't benefit somebody, but when you have the situation like Kaiser's in right now, where one of your top IG player has the belt, it's not going to compete as much, so you need to pick up another one to make up those points. I remember talking to them afterwards, what were you thinking with these 2 picks? And he's like, we did the math. Had we had both of them on our team, we would have come out really well. So I think he's banking on the fact that he has 2 knockout IG players, and you get more points in IG anyways.
Yeah.
So I think he's banking, even if his rookies don't perform as well, he'll make up all those points in Inner Geekdom.
If they're just fighting each other over the belt on the same faction.
Yeah, exactly. So you're not giving away points to anybody that's beating you. You're just automatically getting those points in that match anyways.
Could be genius, could be
So we'll see.
That's the thing. Like his first pick, Robert, like that's genius, because he's gonna have, while Smets is sitting on the sideline waiting for someone to play him if he beats Mara, or even before that, because the Mara match got delayed, so we're gonna schedule other Inner Geekdom matches because we want like the title belt obviously to hopefully be a live show.
Yeah, hopefully.
Yeah.
So he's just gonna have Robert try and rack up some wins.
Yeah, and if not, you got this amazing player you can trade away for some other singles players and team players.
And what I'm interested to see is there is so much pressure on little Spider-Man.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm interested to see how he performs with all this hype around him, because I haven't seen anything from him. And
he's easily the most hyped rookie.
Yeah, he TKO'd Smets in the fan leagues, so.
That's everybody's go-to line. So
yeah, but Smets was probably a different Smets back then.
It's a different Smets now, so.
But we'll see.
We'll see what happens.
You never know.
Yeah. So next team.
The next team I have here is the Mouthy Mercs. I think Koi did a fantastic job.
Koi got some great players.
And also, this little graphic of him, I don't know if you guys saw it, the one that was on Twitter. Koi looks like just a young little doe-eyed deer in this picture. He looks like he just turned 15 or something. I don't even fucking know.
All right, so run down his roster.
He just looks so young and fresh in that picture. So he's got Bibiani, Meyer, Mara Knopick, Tim Franco, Haley Fouch, Greg Alba, Scrimshaw, and John Humphrey, and he opted out of his 9th and 10th picks.
Ooh. So I think
interesting.
That's a lineup.
That's a big ass lineup.
He made out in the draft because obviously getting Shazam was a quality team because you get a really good contending team and also 2 great singles players who are gonna launch the season against Dan Murrell in the main event in New York.
Oh yeah.
So
remind me of who Tim
I'm,
Franco
I'm
is.
looking at that B team with Tim and Haley.
Yes.
Because I remember when Tim and Stacy beat Zipper and Oyama. Oyama's 5-point question was, what are the names of the 3 ninjas? And they didn't know it. And Tim was like, boom, 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 like got it right off the bat. Like,
yeah.
He's the guy that's from Late to the Party.
So he's the guy that they were nominated for the Entrance of the Year with being revealed as Stacey's part.
Yes, that guy.
Okay, I'm with you.
Yeah, and biggest upset of the year too.
Yeah. And then Haley Fouch.
Everyone thought Zipper and Oyama was going to make a run, and they got first rounded.
That was pretty surprising. And then you got yourself your Joseph Scrimshaw, your Star Wars player.
I'm surprised Scrimshaw didn't go earlier.
Me too.
I was expecting him to go at the very least 6th round because
I'm so excited for Star Wars this year.
Oh, yeah.
there's so many new players.
It's so great to like just sit back and watch like, oh yeah, I totally wouldn't have gotten that, but it's cool that you know it. It's like, and that's what, and especially because there's so many Star Wars competitors, like we're gonna have more matches. Like I feel like this is the year that Damon's gonna get dethroned. Like I think.
Yeah.
I mean, your boy Sean has something to say about it too, but like, we'll get into that when we get to the den. But man, I'm so nervous for the competitors coming in because again, like this happened with Laura Kelly. I'm like, who the hell is Laura Kelly? I've never heard of her, and it's like I was just worried about my thing and worried about Scrimshaw and Molly in that match, and then Laura comes out of nowhere. I'm like, shit, I did not see this coming. So
Yeah, you never know.
Going on past matches, I'm like, I'm not going to overlook anybody anymore. So there's Sean. Sean came. I was actually at the draft, and there's 3 other players that I haven't looked at yet. But like, I'm glad to see new blood coming into the division, because again, the division was 5 people before the draft.
Yeah,
now it's
very narrow.
It's up to like almost 10 competitors now. So we have enough for a tournament if they're going to go make the division get more eyes on it. Make it a tournament and have.
I'd be down.
That'd be so sick.
Oh, it's gonna be a good year for Star Wars.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, Mouthy Mercs.
Yeah,
good job, Coy.
Yeah, and it's
Yeah,
curious.
great
It's
job,
curious to
Coy.
see because like Christian brought up a really good point to like if managers want to actually jump back into competition, either they have to have an open spot like the Mouthy Mercs do, and they can just jump back in and fill out one of those spots, or they drop a player if they have all 10 slots taken up. So that's interesting that he has 2 slots open. I don't think Coy's going to jump back into competition.
If the manager wanted to jump back
If the
in?
man, yeah. So yeah,
I don't know why he'd need to. Like he has a team that was
I think he's
one
just-
question away from the belt.
Yeah.
You have two players that are literally 1 game away from a title shot, and whoever loses this 3-way, the other person. I mean, unless Dan wins, but I feel like both Meyer and Bibbs can both get back to a singles title shot. And I feel like they're probably like, the second rated team because they've proven it. Like, I said like Tom and Paul are like the second rated team, but they haven't played yet.
yeah.
With play, Shazam is my number 2 team.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
yeah. Because
easily.
we have yet to see what Paul and Tom's chemistry is going to be like. That's going to be very interesting to see how they work together.
Cannot wait for that team.
It's going to be crazy.
I just can't wait for our promos because
Yes.
Tom didn't break character the entire expo, guys.
Yeah, that's
he did the fan
fantastic.
expo.
Crazy. Does he ever break character at
No.
all? Like even after like at the studio matches, does he ever break character? He does.
I don't want to say.
Okay,
Like
okay.
You gotta keep the magic alive
Yeah.
somewhere. But he didn't break at the expo, and that's amazing.
Just like that's insanity.
Yeah.
Like the whole time he was like, signing stuff for fans and talking with Drew. Both him and Drew like were in character the entire time.
That's
And, like
amazing.
they're- I love them both.
And I can't wait to see the 2 of them just like firing at each other on social
Yeah,
media.
that's going to be an interesting dynamic, especially during the matches.
Oh, it's gonna be great. So next, I have the rock stars. which is a team that has a bit of drama surrounding it, I think. So we've got Jeff Snyder and Draco, Alex Damon, Stacey Howard, JTE, Jim, I want to say Vejvoda. Is that how you say it?
Yeah, Vejvoda.
Vejvoda, yes.
David Del Rio, Jared Habon, Adam Gertler, and opted out of their 10th pick. I mean, obviously the big topic of discussion with the Rockstars is, what are you going to do? You got the Patriots and you got the odd couple. What are you going to, you got Jeff Snyder in the middle.
You don't break up the odd couple. They're on a hot.
But I mean, do you not put back together the Patriots? Like that's.
We've said this before. I mean, you can't argue that Patriots run, but the league is different now. Because back when they had their reign, there weren't as many dominant teams as we have now.
There weren't, the Shazams running around.
Founding Fathers, who's the boss? You can go on and on and on how many teams we have now that are just as strong as, if not stronger than the Patriots. So, and there's the fact that JT hasn't competed in so long. I mean, he was supposed to compete in the teams.
The Evil Geniuses.
Yeah, the Evil Geniuses, but then he dropped out, and they brought somebody in to replace him. So I have no idea what's going on there. I think because he moved away or something.
Yeah, JT moved out of town.
Yeah.
Roxy said that he guaranteed her 2 matches. And I'm thinking that if we do a Boston Live event, that's where JT is going to come in.
Yeah.
Like, I think that they'll temporarily break up the odd couple for the Patriots to come back. Because if you have a Boston match, you got to have the Patriots there.
Yeah, I don't think
JT and Snyder and Roxy.
I don't think you can play favorites in that because, like, again, this with the draft, this comes a legit sport now. So now we have to keep to the rules. And the rule is, if you want to break up a team, they have to be. You don't get that option until they lose twice or twice in a row, something like that.
But perhaps it might be like an exhibition type thing where it doesn't count towards or against anyone.
That you can do that, but the fact that JT says he's committing to 2 matches, I think it's singles.
True.
And because to do only 2 matches and to put him in a new team to rediscover that chemistry and only do it twice, it doesn't make sense. So just put him in a singles match twice in the year. And just get your points off of that, and maybe he doesn't even try to go for a title shot, and you're just racking up points with the singles division.
Yeah.
But I like Alex in this, especially if he proves himself in Inner Geekdom in Atlanta, then it's a whole different ball game.
Yeah, and I've talked to him about that. He said he's nervous about it because obviously it's a new challenge for him because he's been unbelievably dominant in the Star Wars division, and like his last match, I don't think he even sweated in this match against Laura Kelly. But like, it's interesting because I know his strengths. One of his strengths is Indiana Jones. I think
we're not giving away any secrets.
We're not giving any secrets. He said this in public forums on streams and stuff. He said he's very strong in Indiana Jones and Lord of the Rings, I think. But again, it's those off-ball categories like Back to the Future and
Howard the Duck,
Rocketeer, just things like that I'm curious to see if he knows anything about that. So if he can make a run in Inner Geekdom, it's a genius pick. But we'll see. We'll see in February. See how he goes up against Emily Rose Jacobson.
I feel like if he beats Emily and then Robert Parker goes up, against some other rookie, I feel like that's their second match is going to be with each other.
Oh yeah, easily,
yeah.
And that'd be
I feel
really
like that
exciting.
would be that'd be a barn burner of a match, like the Star Wars champ, like a 1-0 Inner Geekdom, and then the chosen one from the fan leagues, that's a lot. That's a live event right there.
Yeah, that'd be crazy. And there's one thing that Roxy mentioned on backstage that I didn't even think about that managers should be thinking about, because she obviously drafted Damon for his dominance in the Star Wars division and the opportunity and his potential in Inner Geekdom. But she brought up this point of like image for a player and making sure they're presented in the proper way, and like when they get their picture put on a poster, make sure it's the right picture, because every picture they use for Damon, he's not smiling
he just
at
looks
all.
So upset
like, Jesus,
in every picture.
Could you not take a better picture of Alex Damon? I've seen him smile. I've seen him laugh. He's a great guy to hang out with. So it's like, why are we picking these pictures? So that's one thing that I think Roxy is paying attention to with her players, is just image, making sure they're out there and known as a brand and not just a competitor. So that's something I think that only Roxy is looking at, because there's no way Finstock's looking at that.
Especially when Alex's wife Molly is posting these like glamour shots on Twitter, like with all her amazing cosplays. I'm like, Alex, you have a style coach that you are in love with. What is going on over there, brother?
I mean, she has a sponsorship with like a Star Wars fashion line.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Damn.
It's like, what are you doing?
I know you have a ring light, Alex. It ain't that tough.
And that's another player I'm surprised didn't get picked up in the draft was Molly.
That is strictly out of sight, out of mind.
Yeah.
That's like
Yes.
that's
And
all it
she,
is.
and we talked to her in Chicago after our debut match. She's like, I don't know, I don't think I'm going to do this anymore. I think she's too hard on herself.
Yeah.
She's much better than what her performance in that Fatal 5-Way.
Absolutely. It was a
says.
debut. And it's
Yeah.
hard to debut in a 5-way.
Yeah.
It's hard to debut at all.
Yeah, so I just wish she would come back to competing. Obviously, because the division needs more competitors, and two, she's a great personality. Because like so many little girls look up to her just for the channel, and people like little girls were cheering for her at the Fatal 5-Way. So I think the Schmoedown needs a player like that, especially now that Rachel and Clark aren't competing anymore. So we need more talent like that in the Schmoedown period. So I just wish she could just like come back to competing.
Maybe.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because I think that, she's much better than what we saw.
Yeah, absolutely.
That was just if I just caught her on a bad day or something. I don't know.
All right, so let's go ahead and move on to the next
All
team.
right. Well, the next one I have is
I can see that graphic over there. Go ahead.
Finstock Exchange.
Go ahead.
So, Mr. Thomas Dagnino has Ben Bateman, Mark Riley, Dan Murrell, John Roca.
God, you even read it in the order. Roga's gonna be pissed. He got read fourth.
God. Oh, wait. No. Rewind it. We got the Finstock Exchange with John Roca, John Roca,
We got John Roca,
and John Roca.
Roca.
He's picks.
Roca, and in the 7th pick you have
John Roca.
Oh, God.
So yeah,
So, the 4 horsemen who are all amazingly equally great.
the first 4 picks,
The first 4 picks.
and some guy they picked up in the 5th round.
Some doofus named Andrew Dimalanta. Who knows what he's going to do. And then the Barbarian. Forgive me, I don't remember what his actual name is,
It's,
but his stage
Craig.
name.
Barbarian.
Yeah.
It's Craig.
Craig.
I'm sorry, Craig. I don't know I forgot your last name. Even though we're all in a giant DM on Twitter together.
Emily Rose Jacobson. Gray Drake, which, by the way, Gray, if that's her real name, sick. That's an awesome name.
It is.
That's
Gray
awesome.
Drake is one of the funniest, nicest people.
I can't wait to meet her in
And
person.
Awesome.
even if she doesn't do good in trivia, she knows more about movies than anybody. She works for Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah.
She's one of the
Oh,
best
yeah.
people alive. Like
Yeah.
I love Gray Drake to death. She's so awesome.
And,
I'm so glad she got drafted.
yeah, and then the last 2 spots.
Cody Hall
Hell yeah.
and Mr. Jackass BC.
We got our bodyguard for the exchange,
Got our
my
muscle.
friends. Got our muscle. So obviously the biggest
So
shocker.
I guess this team's all right.
Yeah, the biggest shocker for me, going to not like shocker, but like I'm surprised Gray Drake went so late
Like
in the
Ben
draft.
said, out of sight, out of mind. It's been a while.
She competed for a title against the Patriots in teams.
Was that with Moda?
That was Modoc again without Atchity. So like again, she's a sleeper pick. I mean, we've been talking with everybody in the DM and like we're all helping each other out. And like, I think people slept on you. I think you're gonna get it in singles. Whoever, we have so much potential on this team to partner people up. We have a possible like 3 teams on this faction, and like we have 2 Intergeekdom players. Obviously a Star Wars player, possibly 2 Star Wars players, with Roca saying he wants to jump into Star Wars. So I see the Finstock Exchange, not to like, struck our ego
Riley
here.
said he might.
Riley
jump
said,
into
yeah,
Star
so we
Wars, too.
possible of three Star Wars players. So there's so much potential on this team.
Well, and actually, also, I was listening to the Finstock Exchange podcast earlier today, and if I'm not mistaken, I thought BC said that he would dip his toes in Intergeekdom.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Like, there's so many. All these players are so willing to cross over into other divisions. The potential for points is ridiculous, because obviously this year I'm not thinking about any other division except for Star Wars.
Yeah.
But come next season, I told Christian, like, yeah, go ahead and queue me up for Intergeekdom, because that's when I'll start to do that. But for right now, I have to focus 100% on Star Wars and taking that belt from Damon.
Oh boy, spicy.
Yeah.
But hell yeah, and the only actual rookies this team has, correct me if I'm wrong, but the only rookies are the Barbarian and
BC.
Jackass.
Yep.
BC.
We only have 2
Yeah.
rookies on this team. And from what I hear, the Barbarian knows his shit.
And he's a singles player.
He said he wants to do all 3 divisions.
Oh boy, that's a big
Yeah.
dick boy move for your rookie season.
Oh no.
Oh
I gotta go, y'all.
Well, on that note,
Well, it's great having you on the show.
all right, Ben. Well, it's been
Okay.
real.
Tip for Nick. Okay, if you want to say a big dick move, that's great. Don't say big dick boy move. Like that's so gross. That's so inappropriate in so many
man.
ways.
You know, there are just words that are up here in this brain, and they just come out. I don't know.
I've got the script in front of me. It said big dick boy. I'm just reading my script. Okay.
I'm
Just reading the teleprompter.
Yeah.
doing what I do here.
I mean, so obviously going into this season, like, Dagnino was the favorite going in because he has four of the best to ever do it, like just right off the bat. So
Absolutely.
I mean, obviously, like statistically speaking, I remember looking on the Facebook Schmoedown Facebook group. Somebody did statistically just pure numbers, nothing else. And it's like Finstock was obviously number one, and I can't remember. I think it was the Burning Drugs was last, or no, the Den was last. No. Sorry, not the Den. The Dungeon was last.
Oh.
Just purely based on statistics alone.
Well, we got a lot of rookies.
Yeah. So
that makes
Yeah.
that
is
makes
anything
sense.
else that jumps out at you, but for either of you about this faction at all?
Nah, it's pretty much like it's all been proven. Like you have two great teams. You have Dan going into Inner Geekdom. You have like what, 4 past and present singles champions.
Yeah.
You have the current team's champion. And like, yeah, we can move on. Y'all are obviously good.
We're flexing on everybody. All right.
So the next one I have is the usual suspects. We have got Drew McQueenie, Andrew Guy, Janine the Machine, Atchity, Knapsack, Jader, Paramo,
Jader.
the Hurricane,
Yeah.
Cameron Rice, who sounds like a football player,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Cameron,
Yeah.
what's his name? James Cameron? No,
James
that's
Cameron.
Titanic.
Cameron Jordan.
Jordan. There you go. Cameron Rice and Jen Kemp opted out of the 9th and 10th picks.
No, actually, no. He has what's her name?
Ah, shit,
As his,
you're right.
his
You got
ninth.
Jenna Bush.
Jenna Bush, so opted out of the 10th pick.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think this is a solid
It's a solid team. Yeah.
Absolutely. Andrew Guy,
Yeah.
Drew McQueenie. I mean, they've proven they went 6-1,
Yeah.
and that's nothing to
6-1.
sneeze at.
And with Sam as a manager for Andrew, like I feel like he'll get his head in the game.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe make him study a bit more.
Yeah.
I think it'll be a much improved Andrew Guy come around because, I mean, even with Andrew's skills, they still they almost won. They almost won the tournament. Like,
Yeah.
it's not like they got first rounded or anything. Like, they were real close to winning the tournament. They beat Ben and they beat Who's the Boss. Like they ran through some tough teams to get beat by Shazam. And at that moment, Shazam didn't lose until the championship.
Yeah.
Like they were on fire.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm
And then Janine is a third rounder. Like
God, that is
that's a steal.
insane.
Hell yeah.
This is Janine's year. She's been so close so many times that
Yeah.
hunger has just been like eating her up.
oh yeah,
And like I think this is the year where she just goes all the way to a title shot.
I can't wait to see
I
it.
cannot wait to see Janine just like hit the door running.
And I wonder who they'll pair her up with as a team.
I think
I'm wondering if she's just gonna focus on singles.
Maybe.
I mean, that'd be a smart move to focus on. Well, you know, because like I said it on the last podcast that like jumping between teams and singles, I imagine isn't too difficult.
it's a similar pool of
It's a
knowledge,
simple-
if not the same.
The only thing that you have to worry about is strategy.
yes.
But I think in the case of like, you know, Kalinowski, Cushing, like jumping back between singles and teams and then inner geekdom, I think is
Yeah.
much harder to do. So,
You'll have to
Yeah.
let us know, Ben, once you get into singles and
yeah.
teams.
You're
Let
gonna
us
have to
know
let
how
us
it goes.
We'll have you back on the podcast. Like, hey, how's that jumping back and forth between divisions?
Because I feel like
Guys, it's
it's the
terrible.
same, right?
Oh my god. Any like sleepers on this team that you think of that you think?
What was after Janine again? So we had the family and Janine, and who else we got on that one?
We got
one more time?
Ashley, who hopefully
mean,
will be
like-
better with a good manager.
The manager, yeah.
You know?
And that's the thing. Like everyone's shitting on Atchity for that challenge. Atchity is a hell of a player.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like-
yeah.
He does know his shit.
And speaking of, we just talked about Gray Drake and Atchity. Atchity rocking fucking Miami's Vice goatee took top 10 to their 5-pointer, and that was before 5-pointers were actual 5-pointers.
Yeah.
Before it felt like everything was a 2-pointer.
Yeah.
And it's just like depending 2 or 3-pointer, and then you're just depending on what number you picked. But yeah, like Atchity and Janine will be a great team.
Yes.
They could.
Like
Yeah.
so I mean that's the thing is that it's all there's a lot of recency bias in the Schmoedown, and like because the Schmoedown can be very streaky of who gets hot and who cools off. But Atchity should not be underrated at all.
Yeah.
That dude knows his shit.
Do you think do you think Atchity's a better singles or better teams player?
Teams.
Yeah.
I think Atchity has his corner of knowledge. Like I saw him and Gray Drake run through the 90s, went 5 for 5 2-pointers. Absolutely. And then you have Janine who knows, like, Janine is known to just like barrel through rom-coms and any actress on the planet. Like she gets Sandra Bullock or Kate Blanchett or Cameron Diaz and you're done.
Which for anybody else would be like, oh no, I got stuck with Meryl
that would be a
Streep.
very balanced team.
Because it's not like, oh, who was Cameron Diaz's co-star in The Mask? It's like,
Oh, it was Jim
what
Carrey. I
shoes
got
was
it.
Cameron Diaz wearing in The Sweetest Thing. I was like, what the fuck?
Well, and the other thing I'm interested in seeing is that actually he is so knowledgeable, and I know that people poke fun at him, especially in light of that match. He's not very good at the Schmoedown, the game of the Schmoedown.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping that
Harloff said that he's been in this for 3 years. He's still like, do I need my board for the second round?
I can do a repeat, right? But if he has a Sam Levine in the in the rafters for him, or a Ken Knapsack if he happens to be his like second in command in Sam's absence, might help a lot. And
also, if you have Janine there, she'll slap the shit out of Matt if he makes another stupid challenge.
Oh yeah,
also true.
Like Alonzo Duralde is great, but he's a big old teddy bear.
Oh,
Janine ain't no fucking teddy bear.
No, Janine will backhand you.
Janine will neck the fuck out of Matt Atchity if he does that shit again.
Shut up. We won.
And is Cameron Rice is a rookie?
I think so.
I think.
Yes, Cameron Rice is on the El Rey network with Hector Navarro. Like he has his own TV show about movies. So Cameron Rice could be a steal. Cameron Rice could, quietly, win a few matches.
And Jen Kemp, I've seen her name a lot on Twitter, but I don't know much about her other than I've seen her name on Twitter.
Yeah.
So she could, she could be a surprise too.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
So the next I have is corruption.
Shannon.
Perhaps the biggest drama of the night.
Yeah.
So corruption has, of course, Kalinowski, Ellison, Hoyk. Is that how you say his name?
Yeah,
Mark Hoyt.
Mark Hoyk. Dewberry.
Oh.
Laura Kelly. Clee Wiggins, who sounds like a Star Wars character. Yeah. And I say that with much positivity. I'm not saying it to be an asshole.
It does sound like a Star Wars character.
Andrew, edit that out. Make sure she sounds like an asshole.
Make her sound like an asshole. And then we got Marisol McKee, Bonnie Somerville. I don't know who that is. Rick Ramos.
Me neither.
And Nerd Chronic. So
I'm excited to see Nerd Chronic play.
Yeah,
and
me
I'm
too.
excited to see all the very slanted, biased.
Hopefully he doesn't,
fucking-
because he posted a team's video of corruption.
It was great
on Twitter. It was fucking awesome, as they always are. But it's like, where are the rest of the teams, Eric?
You
you
use
have to
what
be
you got at
unbiased.
your
You're,
disposal,
I
but-
know you're
Right.
part of a corruption, but like, you gotta be
Hey,
unbiased.
corruption's full of heels. You're gonna go full heel. Ain't nobody else getting promo videos.
We lost the footage, guys. I don't know what happened, so sorry.
Oh no.
But I think half the team is solid.
Yeah.
The other half is kind of, I don't really know what to expect from you. So, but we've said that about a couple of the teams now.
But obviously the shocker, this is the shocker of the entire night.
Elliot Dewberry.
Elliot Dewberry.
Yeah.
Splitting up the wild berries, which I don't think is a done deal yet. I think there's still a possibility
No.
for them to.
This is pure leverage against
Oh, yeah.
Winston.
Yeah.
Oh, easily.
That's all it is.
But like,
Not that Ethan can play. Ethan got a perfect round in his last match.
Yeah.
So Ethan can play if he needs to. And he can sell tickets if he needs to.
oh yeah.
And, there might be that Wild Berries match. We'll see if that happens. But if not, she will squeeze Winston dry for something. For
Phrasing.
something.
Phrasing. Ben.
Hey,
Wowie.
take it how you want it, baby. This is draft day.
Yeah, but that. That
she
moment.
will get something out.
Oh,
yeah, best
100%.
moment of the night.
Best moment of the night. Like everybody was like, "What the fuck?"
Oh yeah, that was a big moment.
Yeah.
But it was great.
It's awesome.
Calling it right now, Shannon, heel of the year.
Yeah, she's
Calling
making a
it
pretty
right
big bid
now.
for it
There's,
already.
like, nobody ever, and everybody else just might as well not even try.
It's just
They
gonna
gotta
be
win.
between her and
You
Guy.
can't be a heel and lose though.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, that's
Because Andrew Guy got like the movie guy or Team Action. They still won matches. Andrew
Mhm.
Guy beat Dan Merle.
Yeah,
The
that's
family went to the teams tournament finals.
True. Yeah, that's
Hell
true.
yeah.
He was still winning.
Well, with
So you have to win.
Kalinowski on
Yes.
your team, I don't think that's gonna be a problem.
No,
Yeah.
not at all. Kalinowski and Chance have proven their worth.
Yeah.
They're still 2-1 against the Founding Fathers.
Yeah.
Regardless of belts, like they
Mhm.
still have a winning record. So I'm excited to see Mike get back on that horse. I'm excited to see Laura in Star Wars because she proved her
Mhm.
mettle.
oh yeah.
So like it's a good team. It's a good
Yeah,
looking
it's a
team.
good looking team. Yeah.
Yeah. And wait, 1, 2, 3, 4 rookies. Because Bonnie's not a rookie. She had it.
No,
was
she-
was
no,
it
she-
one match or does she
She's
play
had
more
some,
no,
than
she
one?
had a match.
she's
with
been in
Janine.
Yeah, Janine, but she's been in it for a while. She doesn't have as many matches.
Oh,
as,
but
like,
she's played more than just the one
she's
against
played,
Janine?
Yeah, she's played more. She's
okay.
in back in like the Toe Top Days, not the Toe Top Days, the
Toda.
like season 2, I think she competed in. So yeah, she's no stranger to the Schmoedown. She just hasn't competed as much as say like Riley or Roka.
Cobwebs to
Yeah.
shake off,
Yeah.
but she'll do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, she'll be really funny to watch. I can't wait.
Yeah. All right, we got
And
next.
then, all right, the next one I got is, I guess, it's this little place called the Den.
I will say.
Here we
I
go.
will say. We need to stop sending gifts of lions. Like, can we stop that?
You don't like the
Kim-
whole hashtag be prepared?
Oh my god. I love my team. I love my team.
It's apparent that Rachel Silvestrini is on that team with all the Disney references.
Yeah.
Oh
No,
my
but
God.
we are fucking stacked.
Yes.
Yes, you guys
And
made out
this
very
is-
well.
This has nothing to do with me. If I wasn't on this team, I would still say this
Yeah, no, this is a
'Cause-
strong team.
because we have easily the best new team. We have easily the best new team in the business.
Oh yeah, Tom and Paul Preston.
Oh God, yes, they're gonna be
Yeah,
dangerous.
That's yeah.
I
Because
cannot wait.
everyone was saying Paul Preston is like a future singles champion. Everyone was saying that Tom is the best part of the Looney Bin, and he's missed what? The only first round question he's missed was one of his bonus questions.
He missed 2 questions in his entire run.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, he's
It's
on
crazy.
fire. I cannot wait
So
to see
crazy.
them as a team,
Yeah,
and I
so-
can't wait to see what they call
Let's hear- let's
themselves.
hear the obviously the first 2 picks were Tom.
So yeah,
and,
Tom and Paul, Preston,
Mm.
and then you got Brandon Hanna,
Mm-hmm.
Sean Sullivan, Diane Ademu John. Don't know if I said that
you,
right.
You know words better than I do.
Rachel I do know words. Rachel Silvestrini, Ben Goddard, whoever that is, Alex
that guy.
Marzonia, Saul, and Brett Sheridan. That's a pretty good
I love it.
scene.
Yeah.
Saul said he's pure inner geekdom.
Nice.
So we've got him and Brandon Hanna,
Mhm.
and Brandon was 1 5-point question away from beating Chandru,
Yeah.
Mm.
which was a really easy 5-point question. I love you, Brandon, but come on.
What was it?
It was a Star Wars question, wasn't it?
Yep, it was what droids were sitting on General Grievous's ship as Anakin and Obi-Wan approached.
Buzz droids.
Oh.
Oh, you got it wrong too.
Oh
Oh no.
They're
no! Wait, no. I
Vulture
sorry.
Oh, no.
Sorry. Say it again. I was not listening.
Oh,
Oh, God.
no!
Oh, God.
Say it again.
Cracks. What droids were sitting on General Grievous's ship
Yeah.
as Anakin and Obi-Wan approached?
Viper droids.
And they're Vulture droids.
Vulture.
Vulture droids. I said Viper droids.
Yes.
Oh,
Shit.
God, what's
Fuck me.
happening?
Wow.
Yeah.
No,
2-0.
It's late. It's
Never
late.
mind,
I have a
Brandon.
cold. It's late. I have
Brandon,
a cold.
if you're listening, everything is forgiven. No more buzz
We'll edit
droid
this
gifts
out.
are sent. Oh man, I
have
love it.
No, I have a cold and then it's late. Ugh, Jesus.
I have a cold and it's late, and I gotta wash the car and feed the dog. And,
I
take
gotta
a
wake up at
bath.
5 in the morning for the kid. So, yeah,
Give him a baby
No,
pass.
but
yeah.
Alex Marzonia, I feel like Alex Marzonia, he's like the quietest, nicest guy you'll ever meet, and he'll never ask for anything. But I know he's been wanting to play, and Alex goes to the movies more than anybody I know. The fact that he can afford ArcLight every single time,
Jesus.
like, this guy's a secret millionaire because that's the only theater he goes to. And if you guys don't have an ArcLight near you, it's like $18 a pop minimum.
Why?
That's like Epic for us. We have an Epic theater
It's
near
a
us.
very renowned theater, and they have like really like they play 70 millimeters. They have the Cinerama Dome.
Yeah,
Like
that's Epic for us.
It's like kind of the holy, like it's like the mecca of theaters with like the
Cinerama
Chinese
Dome?
and like the Disney theater and stuff. So
What's a Cinerama
we're very
Dome?
spoiled here in LA.
That sounds like a made-up word.
Yeah, so obviously I think I'm surprised that Sean went as early as he did, because they need to have some insider information on him, because that's
Yeah, that
what
was
that's
very
what
early
scares
pick.
me about him, is that how early he went.
Yeah, he was
like
second
before-
round overall for Star Wars. I mean,
Yeah.
he was 4th round, but second overall for Star Wars, I guess.
Yeah, second overall Star Wars competitor after Alex Damon. So that's saying something about his game. So that's what scares me about him, is that he went before Kelly, me, Scrimshaw, Ken. And it's just crazy. So I don't know what you guys know on him, but
Ben's very quiet.
yeah.
I bet he would have gotten Vulture Droids, you son of a bitch.
Son of a bitch.
Oh, no.
Just imagine, guys, for everyone listening on the podcast, just imagine Andrew slow pitching me a softball and me knocking it the fuck out of the park. No, I really like our team, though.
Yeah.
I'm even as just like a viewer, I'm excited to see Paul and Tom together. I'm excited to see them wreck shop. I need to find out where I'm playing, just so I know what to start studying. Because, I've been watching, some Inner Geekdom movies and stuff like that. But if they need me to pair up with, Rachel or Alex for teams, that'd be great. I don't think I can play in all 3 leagues. Maybe not this year.
Yeah.
If they want me to do one or the other, then I'll stick to that.
So you're just waiting for like where Kate wants you to go. So any idea like where do you think she'll have you go into? Because obviously you obviously have a strong Inner Geekdom player.
Brandon.
And I mean,
Yeah.
like I know Saul said he's Inner Geekdom, so I'd be fine with just like I can do singles. I know my first match is going to be against RB3. That's confirmed.
Hell yeah.
And someone on Twitter like today was like, because I was watching like Captain America, or I posted that cosplay of me and Captain America, and he's like, some guy was like, you need to come out in that. RB3 needs to come out in Iron Man. SCN Civil War. I was like, that'd not the worst idea I've heard.
That'd
from
be pretty
Twitter.
cool.
Not bad.
And if you guys need some visual effects, you know who to call.
I do.
Hell yeah. And I just can't wait to see Brett. I hope he comes out with a cast
Yeah,
iron
I think he's
skillet.
gonna get one match, and then they're gonna drop him.
Well, it'll be worth it.
It'll be worth it, and then he'll be on the sidelines, and he's gonna snipe someone in the middle of a match, and they're gonna be fucking done.
Cannot
He's gonna cakewalk to victory.
So next we got Swag. We got Oyama, Lon Harris, Chandru, Makuga, Liz Shannon Miller, Halavic, RB3, Demi, not even going to try to pronounce his last name, Ed Greer, and Andres Ace Cabrera.
So obviously,
I like it.
Yeah, the big pick, Paul Oyama. I think Paul is itching to get back into it after that performance at Spectacular.
Oh,
because
God,
that
yeah.
is not indicative of his play. I think he was just sitting around all night, just stewing, and I think that really affected him. And people are saying like on like the Facebook group and towards like, how do you not get Paul into that triple threat? And the thing is like, he lives in Hawaii, right?
He does.
And it's like he's just not available, and this is like almost last minute change for the match. So it's like
I feel like people were hoping for like a rubber match, but it can't get beat that bad and get a rubber match. But I feel like he'll have maybe one match and then go to a contending spot. Yeah, like Paul defended the belt regardless of how you want to say he defended it. Yeah, he won the belt. He beat Dan to win the belt.
Seriously,
he beat the GOAT to get the belt, and then he beat Snyder, who's no slouch, to defend the belt, and then he got waxed in the Spectacular. But that was this was just Ben's time. He was unstoppable that night.
Yeah. Either way, I think he gets back to the title shot sooner rather than later. It's just a matter of availability. That's why he's not in New York. So,
what is a rubber match?
It means like you lose to someone, you do it right again. Just like you bounce
Same
back.
person?
Yeah, same person.
Same match, same matchup.
So so say like I beat Alex, rubber match, automatically rematch.
Would it be for the belt?
Yes.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Have we ever
Like
done
they'll
that?
do that in boxing. They'll do that in boxing when it's like a
Shire
split decision or something like that.
Shire Wolves did that to
Oh.
Odd Couple.
Oh.
They're very short reign in the team's
Never
title.
heard that before. Okay, learning something new. Okay, all right.
Anything else that
good.
stands out about this team? Because like, obviously the Oyama pick, Chandru's a good pick for Intergeek because he was really close to a title shot against Kalinowski.
Like Chandru.
Yeah.
Lon Harris, I think he with a good teammate.
I think he's getting paired up with Paul.
Yeah.
So
They
that's
could
a,
be.
That's a good team too.
That team is just straight knowledge right there.
Mhm.
Like with Winston behind them, like that Winston can cut all their promos and talk all the shit. So that's just with Paul, who has played enough matches and gone through the ringer and won the belt and lost the belt, with Lon, who has won some big games and knows his stuff. I like that team a lot.
Yeah.
And he's got what, 3 Intergeekdom players? He's got Chandru,
Yeah.
Halavic, and then, if I'm not mistaken, wasn't Demi? Wasn't he? He was a rookie last year. He had like 1 match. I don't remember who he
Can't
played.
remember.
Do you guys remember him?
I do not.
No.
Oh boy, I want to say he was Intergeekdom, or I don't know. Maybe he wasn't. Maybe they only have 2.
Yeah.
I think he only played 1
Yeah.
match. Though.
Halavic, I think Halavic just needs to buckle down, and then obviously with Emily, his study mate, that they're gonna.
No, he's regular. It was him versus Liz Shannon Miller.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah, that's right.
I don't know why. I thought I
I
remember
just
his
looked it up right
name in Intergeekdom, but
Yeah.
man, I'm such a dumb.
Yeah, so I think Halavic's another one that I think people were sleeping on because like he got knocked out by Smets at Comic-Con, and it's that recency bias thing. Like, what have you done for me lately? It's like, well, you lost big.
Also, and that's the thing, like, it is Smets, so I mean, I don't know if you would have beat him, but I will say that Adam was up at 6 a.m. and spent all day in Hall H, like doing his job for Comic-Con, and then barely made it in time for the match.
Yeah.
So like, I'll give him a little pass. It's again Smets. I don't know if he would have won, but he would have played better.
Yeah.
And we said before, Josh McCouga was a passion pick.
That's a total passion pick.
That's a ticket pick.
That's a better word. That's a better word for it. Like you get the wild berries to put butts in seats.
Oh yeah.
At live events.
Absolutely.
So.
And then I think Ace is gonna surprise some people though.
Do you know what division he's going in? Because I imagine he's going to Star Wars.
I don't know, but he does the first cut. Is that what him and RB3's
I think so.
podcast is called?
Yeah.
So I think they would be a good team together, honestly, him and Ace.
Yeah.
Like
they have chemistry
they have
already,
movies
so
together, and then he was hosting Jedi Council with Emma and Ken. So
yeah. So that's interesting to see. I think pairing with RB3 would be a smart move, just because that chemistry is already there, so you don't have to worry about are they going to meld well together. It's like, well, they obviously they have a podcast together, so I think that'd be a smart move to put them on a team together. Yeah. So is that all the teams?
I do believe so. It's the last picture in my gallery, so I hope so.
Solid research.
So
I'm very prepared.
So yeah, before we wrap it up, we this is a special episode because Ben's here, first official guest, but something else that's special about this, we have our first call in.
That's right.
From Anchor, first Anchor message. So let me go ahead and cue this up. Hopefully this works.
Oh God, it's gonna be so embarrassing if it doesn't. Oh my God.
Hey, Nikki and Andrew, this is Mariano calling to check in and see how you guys
Is it
are
a
doing.
live call-in?
No, it's recorded.
We're about a week
Oh,
away
okay, gotcha.
from the season starting. The new era is upon us.
Hell yeah.
And I had a question for you guys. With Andrew getting drafted to the Finstock Exchange and looking at the draft,
Is it playing and I can't hear it?
Oh,
how
you can't
do
hear
think
it?
the draft would have shaken
No.
out if there were no keepers?
I
What
don't
do you
need
think
to.
the first round would have looked like if Smets and the Horsemen were free to be drafted by anybody? I know this is controversial with Andrew being part of the Horsemen, but I'm just curious if you guys were to look at that and break that down. I absolutely love your show, and I think this is a quintessential part of the Schmoedown now, and everybody should be listening to you guys. Let's spread the word and grow this thing. Love you guys. Bye.
All right. So sorry, Ben, I didn't know you can hear it, but John Mariano called in through Anchor, and he posed the question.
Good dude.
Yeah, John Mariano is awesome. But he calls in and he says, so how do you think the first round of the draft would go if the champions weren't protected, basically?
I love that question.
That's a
great.
great fucking question. I
It
have
would've
my own.
gone
I have my own thoughts on
hugely
that. So,
different.
what do you think? How that would have shaped out if the champions weren't protected?
Oh, it would have been
Dan
mayhem.
goes first.
Yeah.
Like, just and it like not to add to the fact that he's playing an inner geekdom. Like Dan goes first. I think.
So
if
I think
Roka was serious about Star Wars, I think he would go second.
So no, this is what I think he's saying. So the teams being protected is still a thing.
Just not protected
It's
to a faction.
not protect. The champions aren't protected to factions.
So like Dan and
So if you
John would still be together.
Yeah,
just,
exactly.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
so
so-
yeah, Founding Fathers are first.
I think.
Shazam is second.
Yeah. Maybe the family.
I'd say Corruption over the family, just because I think Chance is a better B player than Andrew is. Because I mean, they won. They had a title.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very true.
I'd say the family's probably fourth. The family's a solid
That's a
fourth
fair
pick.
spot. Well, I mean,
And
also, who's
those
the
are all
boss?
the protected teams, right?
Yeah.
Well, who's the boss was protected? Yes, no.
Yes. So honestly,
I put who's the boss fourth over the family then.
I think the only team really affected by this is the exchange, is Finstock's exchange.
Oh, absolutely.
I think it.
Well,
I
yeah.
think the only. I think everybody else's teams get to where they want to be. It's just the Finstock exchange doesn't get who they want. I think Kevin still goes to the dungeon because obviously, if that was the case, Kaiser doesn't make that trade to go back to 10th and switch his spot. I say obviously Dan goes first, which means you automatically get Roka. I think that's really the only big difference, because then Roxy will obviously go odd couple. Shazam goes third. Fourth was who had the fourth pick?
God,
Oh my god, this was like
do not remember. It
this
was
like
so
last week.
confusing. I don't know what happened.
But yeah, I think the only real shakeup is the Horsemen don't go to the Finstock exchange. Because I
Yeah.
think it's possible for Kevin to, since it benefits you to go teams first. So I think I think Kevin still goes to the dungeon.
You think Tom would have picked who's the boss before Founding Fathers?
That's a really good question.
Well, because if that's the case, if they're not protected, by the time we get to Gucci, he has to take who's the boss because Founding Fathers would already been taken. So I think that's the
Oh, yeah,
only,
they would've
that's
been
the
snatched.
biggest shakeup is like Founding Fathers automatically go first, like because of that.
Yeah.
Just you have three legends together with Merle, Roka, and Levine managing.
You think
Yeah.
Sam? I was gonna say you think Sam would have taken Founding
Founding Fathers.
Fathers
Oh yeah,
over
absolutely.
Yeah.
How do you pass that?
He would've been
opportunity
foolish
up?
not to.
He would be really foolish not to pick the champions, and especially like I said, three legends. Or two legends being managed by another legend. You don't pass that
Yeah.
up, even though you had that Drew McQueenie like connection. How do you pass up on
team
the
champions
team
being
champions?
managed by a former team champion.
Yeah, and singles champion.
singles
So
champion.
all three of them, all singles champions, team champions.
Oh,
So how do you pass that? I think that's the only real big shakeup, and I think everything else sort of falls into place for all the rest of the teams. So I think that's the real. If no champions are protected, the biggest team affected is the Finstock exchange, because I think everybody
Yeah.
else goes to pretty much where they're meant to go to.
That's a really interesting question. I would love to have
The thing-
Frankie do like a mock draft.
The
for
thing that would be really interesting is nobody's protected. So teams.
That's the
champions.
draft that I want to see.
Yeah,
God,
that would be
No,
insane.
no
Mayhem.
champions are protected. No teams are
That
together.
would be insanity.
It is a free for all.
That'd be the true definition of
anarchy. Yeah, that'd be a
And I
bloodbath.
feel like I don't want to speak for Christian about the storylines he's gonna make, but I feel like that'd be next year.
Yeah.
Maybe just because I was honestly hoping that it was just gonna be the champions that were protected.
Yeah.
That's it. And
Yeah.
I don't think who's the boss should have been protected together.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I mean, just like that's like 4 first-round picks right there.
Yeah.
Like it's so stacked.
Yeah.
Like Ben should have been a protected pick, and then the Founding Fathers just because
They have titles. Yeah.
They happen to be the same manager. That's just good luck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he should have, Ben should have had to make that would have been the strategy of like, who do I draft for my team? Like who
Yeah.
does Dagnino pick to be Ben's new teammate?
Yeah,
Man, that'd be a
and
hard choice.
that's what's great about it, because like as much as people hated Anarchy and when it first got announced, like what the hell are you doing?
It was one of the best things
the
that happened.
best thing that happened to the Schmoedown, because you got teams,
Yep.
you got teams like the Odd Couple, Who's the Boss, founding fathers, corruption.
Corruption,
Yeah,
quote unquote.
unquote.
Because I don't think that was random.
Yeah, well, Christian admitted that it was full. Like a lot of teams are like fabricated and couples.
handpicked.
Yeah.
Oh boy,
That's a great
Look
question.
behind the curtain. That was a great question.
Yeah, okay, I'll ask you guys that though. Like let's do that draft. No one's protected. Let's do the first
Ooh.
Oh my god.
first 10.
Oh
Like, yeah,
gosh.
everyone's
I
first
have
round pick.
I have no idea where to go from there because obviously Merle goes from 1.
And then who does Roxy pick 2? With no odd couple, does she still go Andreyko or Snyder?
If Roxy might, because I feel like she would have like a really strong sense of loyalty.
Yes, because she's a very loyal manager.
And I don't
think
think
she
she'd pick
goes.
Bateman.
I think she goes Andreyko and hopes Snyder's available for her in the second round.
Which I think would be a good chance.
There would
that
be
it
a very
would've
good chance of that
happened
happening
way.
because there's a lot of other great players. Not that Jeff isn't great, but
Yeah.
there are more people.
But
that,
yeah, people are more willing to coach Andreyko than they are Snyder.
Yeah.
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 All right, so
yeah.
who's third?
Third would have to be.
Was Coy?
I'd see him going with Bateman. Honestly.
I see. Yeah, I was gonna say.
Say
I could
Bateman.
see him. I could see him still taking Bibbs.
Yeah.
I could, but I just feel like somebody's gonna want that belt.
Yeah. Just because
And
like
just-
if like the singles champ slips to the third or fourth pick.
Yeah,
It's like,
disrespectful,
wow, yeah, that's
right?
disrespectful. Why
Am I
don't
right,
you take him?
RB3? Disrespectful.
We need a sound.
All right,
bite of that.
so Bateman goes third. Who picked fourth? Was that?
I think that was shit. We really should have written this down.
Was that R&B? He picked Ethan, right?
Yes.
Oh yeah, you might
Yeah.
be right.
Okay.
Yeah. And then
So
it's then
does he
it's
still go to Ethan?
This is gonna be really embarrassing if we go up with Roca on the 4th pick again.
no. Roka would be obviously first round,
Yeah.
but it's crazy.
But
He might go with
that's the
Irwin.
thing is that it has nothing to do with Roka's talent because he's obviously a legend. He's been double belted, like he's won both belts that he's
Yeah.
competed for.
Oh yeah.
It has nothing to do with that. It's all what the manager wants.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like
I
it
think
has
he's.
nothing
I
to do
think.
with
Yeah.
like
I
it's
think
not
you go
an insult
Ethan.
to Roka at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think you go Ethan. After that, you'd have to go Roka.
Absolutely.
Then
Who 5th was?
5th was Dagnino. 6th
Okay.
was. Wait, no. Burnett would be at 10th because of that trade. Because I think if
yeah.
this happens,
because Kaiser's
Kaiser
with
absolutely
him.
doesn't trade. So he would obviously because Kaiser would obviously
pick
pick
Smets.
Smets.
100%.
Yep.
100%.
Kaiser goes Smets.
And then
So
then
Dagnino would go Roka.
could go Roka.
Yeah.
Who you got? Do you think Winston still goes Paul?
Yes. Or yeah.
I could see
I
it
think
being
he
the
does.
former
I
champion.
think former champion.
Because
yeah.
I think former champion and Winston wants to coach somebody, and Paul's the perfect person that needs to coach.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
Then after him was I want to say Shannon was somewhere in there.
We
Yeah,
got
Shannon
Roxy
goes
left.
Mike. Shannon goes Mike.
Shannon
regardless. Doesn't
obviously
matter.
goes Mike.
Yeah, that would be.
Then after
really
that
awkward.
was Kate.
Yeah.
Kate would pick.
Yeah. Who does Kate pick?
Oh my
Kate
god.
would pick. I know. Kate picks Bibbs.
Yes. Yeah. Of it. Yeah.
Kate
Bibbs.
picks Bibbs 'cause
If
she
Bibbs
loves
slips.
Bibbs.
Yeah. If Bibbs slips
We
that
didn't
far.
already say somebody else would have gotten Bibbs.
Mm-mm.
We didn't say that yet.
No, because.
Okay.
No, I said Coy might have, but
Oh,
I think
yeah. Okay.
you guys are right.
If Bateman was
Coy would want to
available
start the year.
with the
Coy would
title.
want to start the year with the belt.
Yeah, and who could blame him?
Yeah, and then.
Yeah.
Then after that
Rockstars?
was no Roxy was second,
Oh wow.
And
where have I
then-
been?
and then it was Burnett
Last.
last.
That goes. It goes Ethan.
Ethan, yeah. So yeah, that's a ton. And then after that, who the fuck knows?
God, that would be.
Yeah, I don't want to do
I
anymore.
don't want to
This
think
is,
about. Yeah,
that's hard enough.
yeah. So yeah, we
But yeah,
ran.
Mariano's
Yeah,
a
we
good
ran
guy.
longer than expected again. That's the name of this show is. I want to keep it under a certain time, but we're gonna go over
We're
like
never
we
gonna
always
do. It.
do.
We're always gonna go over.
I feel like with guests, you guys are probably gonna go longer though. Honestly, it's
Yeah.
just another
Probably.
opinion in the room.
Yeah. So I
Absolutely.
think we're gonna go ahead and wrap it up here. Ben, where can they find you online? You have many places you can find online. So where can you find you?
On all the socials, it's at the Ben Goddard. On Twitch, it's Ben Goddard it's Ben Goddard. I really need to change that. And on YouTube, it's just Ben Goddard as well. So it's really easy except for Twitch, which I really need to change.
Which I know you can do because I've definitely done it.
I think you get like
do it right after this.
I think you get so many changes though.
You can
like,
only do it like once every 6 months,
Yeah,
something
something like
weird
that.
like that. I don't know, but it can be
yeah.
done.
So go ahead and follow him everywhere that you can find Ben Goddard. Nicki Dimalanta, where can they find you online?
I do Twitter things with at Dimmy DIMMMYYY.
And you can find me on Twitter, Instagram at Drew Dimalanta, DIMALINTA, on YouTube at videosbyandrew.com. Do us a favor, if you listen to us on Apple Podcasts, give us, just go ahead and rate us. We were actually ranked 65th for after shows in the United States.
What?
It's just kind of crazy. So help us get into the top 50, guys.
That's
That'd be
cool.
great.
Get him up to 69th.
Ooh,
Yeah.
hell
Well, no, we were
yeah.
on 65th, my boy. So
I know.
Yeah, but 69 would be funny.
that's nothing to do
all
with
right.
your actual.
So yeah, we're gonna go ahead and wrap it up here on Beyond the Schmoedown. Thank you for joining us, and we will see you guys next time. Get it. Still hear us, but whatever.
Hop it. How long is this outro music? I love
We're gonna just keep this.
it. I'm all about it.